I'm Reece at your leisure at the Shiloh Civil War Battlefield in Tennessee, a calm, beautiful, serene place dedicated to two of the bloodiest days in American history.
Cannons, monuments, and visitors are scattered across the 4,000-acre Shiloh National Military Park on the Tennessee-Mississippi border. America's second national military park, Shiloh is one of the best preserved, having survived a century and a half with little modern intrusion. With 23,746 casualties, the two-day battle was, to that time, the bloodiest in American history, and the park and cemetery commemorate those who fought in this historic struggle around Shiloh Church, which lent its name to the battle. Ulysses S. Grant's 45,000-man Union Army prepared to attack Albert Sidney Johnston's Confederate force, thought to be 25 miles to the south. It wasn't.
At 4:55 a.m. on the morning of April 6, 1862, a Union reconnaissance party encountered the lead elements of Johnston's army here at Fraley Field, and the battle began.
Fraley Field is today a serene expanse of manicured grass, mostly true in shape to the farm field of 1862. At dawn, 4 rebel corps stormed through this field, overwhelming unprepared Union troops. Fightin' Bob Shaver's Arkansas Brigade led the way, pushing into the Union camps of Colonel Everett Peabody, marked by Shiloh's distinctive brigade monuments. Here, Peabody, whose action alerted Grant's army to the attack, rallied his men, but he was shot 4 times. The final blow to the face was fatal. A focal point of the park, the two-door Shiloh Meeting House around which the battle swirled, was faithfully rebuilt by the Park Service in 2001. The hand-hewn logs replicate early 19th century construction techniques. The original church, built by Methodists in 1853, was destroyed during the fighting. William Tecumseh Sherman's division fought Confederate attackers here for 2 hours before being forced back. Confederate Commander P.G.T. Beauregard would sleep in Sherman's tent the night of April 6. Shiloh features 150 monuments to various units, such as the 57th Ohio, commanded by Americus Vespucius Rice, tucked off the beaten path in a forest of oak and hickory. The adventure of Shiloh is seeking out these hidden memorials. More obvious are state monuments, including the 75-foot-tall Iowa column, the poignant Tennessee State statue, Arkansas, Wisconsin, and the Mississippi Memorial dedicated just last year. But the most profound and significant is the massive monument to rebel soldiers dedicated in 1917. Its central figures represent the Confederacy frustrated in defeat. On each end, the solemn expressions of soldiers as they realize their cause here is lost. The National Park Service has worked to keep the battlefield mostly as it was 154 years ago. All but 2 of the 229 artillery tubes are original war pieces retrieved after the war. The carriages are weatherproof replicas. Open grasslands closely resemble dimensions of the family farms of 1862. Young peach trees dot the same orchard land that saw some of the heaviest fighting. Peach blossoms, ripped from their stems by mini-balls, fell like snow on the dead and wounded. After several failed rebel charges, General Albert Sidney Johnston personally rallied his troops and inspired the charge that took the field, but at a heavy price. Johnston is prominent in Utah history. It was Johnston's army which entered the territory in 1858 to quell the so-called Mormon Rebellion. He founded Camp Floyd near Fairfield, Utah, at the time the largest U.S. Army base. Now commander of rebel forces, Johnston was shot in the leg and was found sitting limply on his horse near this monument. When asked if he was hurt, he replied, "Yes, and I fear seriously." Aides carried him to this secluded ravine, today one of the most beautiful spots in the park, where the highest-ranking officer to die in the Civil War faded into history. Big Trout cruise Bloody Pond just beyond Sarah Bell's peach orchard. The Park Service maintains the landmark, which reportedly ran red with the blood of parched and injured soldiers and horses. Horrible story. It may not be true. Today, only white-tailed deer do battle with the cannons at J.R. Duncan's cotton field. Undeveloped Shiloh is a paradise for native wildlife. On April 6, 1862, the 12th Iowa under Colonel Joseph J. Woods formed part of a defensive line along this sunken road bordering Duncan Field. For 5 hours, the rebels would launch 8 attacks, each repelled with the guns of the 1st Minnesota Light Artillery working continuously. The air so filled with the buzzing of Minnie balls, the soldiers dubbed the field the Hornet's Nest. Finally, at about 4:30, 52-year-old Rebel General Daniel Ruggles, another Utah campaign veteran, gathered 62 cannons across the field and opened up on the sunken road defenders. Confederate soldiers surrounded the Union troops as they tried to escape through a narrow ravine. One Union commander was shot and killed, and at 5:30, the other, General Benjamin Prentiss, surrendered his entire 2,200-man Yankee force. But the delay allowed Grant to establish a final line of defense here at Pittsburgh Landing. Today, the lily pads at quiet Water Oaks Pond belie the intense fighting of April 7th. Union forces held off attacks at the pond, regained the offensive, and pushed the rebels out of Shiloh and back to their base at the railroad crossroads town of Corinth, Mississippi, where the Park Service maintains a visitor center and a unique commemorative courtyard fountain tracing the growth of the United States through the Civil War. The National Park Service, which celebrates its 100th anniversary this year, preserves 25 national battlefield parks as eternal reminders of the struggles it took to create the country we now enjoy. Reece at your leisure at Shiloh National Battlefield Park, Tennessee.
Hey guys, if you liked that video, you're going to want to watch all of our other AYL videos. You're going to want to like it, you're going to want to share it, and you're going to want to subscribe, right? See all the buttons right here? This is what you're going to want to do, right? Click on them, because we have some really cool videos, all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff, bloopers of Alicia crashing and stuff.
Why are you going to sell me out like that, Stephen?
So you want to click all of these things and subscribe to our channel, because At Your Leisure is awesome, and we'll see you here for more videos.